Hello? Okay, no, this one. Hey. Yeah, I think it's working now. I hope it's working. All right. So basically, have you heard anything that I said so far? You didn't hear anything. Can you hear me now? You can hear it, yeah? Hey. All right, I think it's working now. So you didn't hear anything so far? Oh my god. I spoke 20 minutes for nothing. All right, so oh my god, it was actually valuable information. I shared the best information ever. Oh my god. All right. So yeah, should we start from the beginning? Ah, okay. All right. All right. So let's restart this. So first and foremost, guys, I hope you survived this crazy day. All right, so we had a crazy day today, as you know. Everything was or is red. Yeah, I guess no one listened before. So everything is red, as you can see. So this is a crazy day. I hope you guys manage to manage your risk accordingly. If you had FOMO, that's a little bit normal in a day like this. Or if you just stayed uncomfortable trading such volatility and you didn't trade, it's okay as well. There's no problem. It's just a day. There's going to be more days to trade this week and everything else. So these are actually not usually the type of opportunities that you're going to try to catch either way. So this is maybe a little bit more for advanced traders to try to trade days like this, all right, where everyone is losing their heads, everyone is scared, or trying to catch any move in here, right? And trying to catch the bottom actually is not advised, or kind of it wouldn't be recommended at this point in here. I actually asked you during the stream or the beginning if this was actually the worst day that you have seen or the craziest day that you have seen during this journey as traders. So if you did experience anything else or anything worse, feel free to share. Maybe COVID. COVID was also crazy, of course. Many traders now just started actually trade after COVID. But one of the days that I remember personally, that it was whoa, what the hell is going on? It was on the 15th of January 2015. It was when the Swiss National Bank actually stopped to be paired with euro. So it was always around 1.20. So euro over from Swiss was around 120, and all of a sudden, without any announcement, surprised the market completely, and it stopped it. And all of a sudden, there was a complete crash on the offering Swiss, and it followed through with all the other currency pairs as well. That's a complete crazy day. You can check just over franc Swiss. You see that big candle to downside on that day. That big candle. It was created like in less than 30 seconds. It was crazy. Yeah, I do remember that one. Many brokers, a few brokers actually went bankrupt because of it, and many margin calls, as you can imagine. There was no liquidity in there. So yeah, so that's where we are. Price did manage to retrace a little bit in the afternoon after that big sell off in the morning. In terms of news, as I described as well before, there aren't that many news this week. It's quiet. We actually had just the services PMI, which is actually positive, both in Europe, in the UK as well, and in the US. So that's not bad, and kind of put a little bit of ice on this crazy day that we have. And yeah, so it's about now trying to find out what we have on the bigger picture, right? So in days like this, it's always good to redo the higher time frame analysis. Again, when you actually zoom out, we actually end up noticing that where price is reacting from, it actually makes sense. Like it's all about trying to identify what space is available in the market, right? When you do have then that spice, that specific spice that price wants to fill, that's when then people are going to start saying that we are in a bullish market, bearish market, or whatever, right? So in the reality, I don't really see the market as bullish or bearish. I just try to find out where the spice is, and the spice can be in the higher time frame, daily time frame, can be also then of course more intraday. And then yes, of course, if prices have the tendency to start going a little bit more higher than lower, basically if you are a little bit in a bullish trend, okay, we can respect that in terms of the way you're looking for sales, maybe wait a little bit for extra confirmation, and as soon as you start having those turns, those clues that price actually is about to turn, then respect it, respect the space that's available. Look at the compression that our price already created and look for where price wants to go. And in this particular case on the S&P, basically this is the spice, this is the rectangle that we have in here. This is basically from this low all the way to that high, that's basically the spice that we have. Price had already compressed all the way through. We have all these demands basically being respected in here. This one was one that was left behind. Price reacted in there, but meanwhile already broke this low. So I have a big information with this break. We had also that information in here. And all of a sudden when you start breaking these levels in here, we start literally opening this price to there, then you are opening the door to there, and in my opinion you are going to even go further down, but as I mentioned before, unfortunately the sound was not working. This is actually a really good demand zone where price actually reacted from. There is actually that fake out in there. It's a beautiful level where price reacted from in here, but this wall is already also broken, so you can even start playing ahead that maybe S&P wants to actually continue eventually to move further down. If price does wants to go slightly in here, there's maybe a little bit of that level at the extreme, and then a little bit of this extreme, but as you can see, most of this also has been compressed already on the way up in here. So we'll see around this level what price is going to do now. Price can retrace again this level in here on the higher time frame, and in here it makes sense where the S&P reacted from. Nasdaq went a little bit deeper, already reacted from the extreme in here of this low. So all that makes sense. If this was a 5 minutes time frame chart and you see this price filling out this price, everyone would be totally okay with that move, because it's on a daily time frame, because it's a higher time frame move. Everyone starts getting scared when in reality just slow down. Like basically, as you can see on the daily time frame, this is literally the demand zone. That's basically the origin of this move to the upside. Then there you go, price just filled the space. Fantastic, perfect. Now we are a little bit in between in here. Of course, you can look into the world time frame to see what's going on in here. We start breaking slightly that high. Doesn't really mean much just yet, but it's something to start being aware now, right? So what structure is starting to be created? Let's just jump into dollar index, because again, everyone is muted. Dollar index also reacted from a really great demand zone in there. In my opinion, this is still basically within a compression zone that we have in here, which means that one second. Yeah, which means that I still think that dollar index wants to go slightly lower. I would like actually eventually dollar index to go below that. What's going on? Go below that low in there. So that's a little bit of the level that I would like to see eventually dollar index to go towards too, but now we can react a little bit from some structure in there. As I mentioned as well, if there is a level on dollar index that I still like in here, it will be somewhere around this level. Price to fake out a little bit at level and go. Do have a little bit of this structure as well. Again, I'm not the biggest fan, but price can react from it and start moving a bit more to the upside. But since this will actually reacted perfectly from that level on the left side, maybe this level in here can still hold, and there is a little bit of a zone as well on the euro dollar at the highs that you'll see in there. So that's just something, and price definitely could hold a little bit now before just resuming the move to the downside in there. So yes, that's dollar index in here. Moving along, and now we have Nasdaq. Right, there you go. Nasdaq reacted from the extreme. There you go. It went all the way. Where is the demand zone in here that is fresh on Nasdaq? That's the one. Right, this was never reacted from it. You can literally see it's already standing out in there, and that's exactly where Nasdaq reacted from. Like, it's in there. Look at the reaction. Perfect. Those are the levels that you want to try to find out. There's maybe another extreme in there at this low, but that one was definitely there. And great reaction on on NQ from that zone. As you can see, beautiful liquidity in there. Price just reacted now. There's maybe a little bit of that zone as well, but for now it's good. Now I still think that price wants to carry on moving a little bit more to downside, but now we close this gap. Like basically close this range in here. You feel the spice. There you go. Done. Job done. So we'll see. Now we do definitely need to break below this low to start opening a bit more room to downside. You do have this level straight away underneath in here. Price can bounce, and in here that's maybe the level that you can have a little bit more of a deep retracement before price moving to downside. Because breaking this low, yes, it starts opening door to go further down, even though we may just react straight away from here and we can start moving to the upside. So it could definitely create a little bit of liquidity around this level, around these lows, fake out that level, fake out definitely this low in here, and now push higher from here. So that's definitely something to pay attention on Nasdaq in the bigger picture, to be aware of. Beautiful double low. There you go. That's exactly what you want to look for. To have a double low in here that can be used also to create liquidity. We start breaking this level. We definitely have this gap in here where price is just reacting right now. So perfect. And you do have also that level at the extreme in there. Dow Jones as well, like another one. Just move to downside. There's even more room in here at this point on the Dow. In my opinion, basically price has all this level in here, and I could see it moving a little bit more to the downside, maybe getting a little bit closer to here, right? And again, the bigger range now that we have is this one. This price just reacted from that level, maybe even broke it a little bit from here, but you can even go eventually more towards this level in here, and that's actually where I'll be looking more on the Dow in there. DAX as well, just feel the spice again, just completely broke off of this and back into this structure, and that's basically where it's reacting from. It can even go a little bit further down into that level, totally okay, the same way that now can retest a little bit this zone underneath in here and maybe just react and push lower again. Right, there you go, broke it, create spice and go. Now this one, right, with the Japanese Nikkei, which is the one that has been on the radar, and maybe it was the catalyst for all this sell-off that occurred across the market, or that scared everyone. Good reaction from this demand zone, but I do think there's more room to downside in here as well, right? So we start breaking some lows, we fake out in there. That's a beautiful reversal pattern. Price never really retested this level in here, unfortunately, and in here as well, basically just retraced or broke this low in there, went up and just broke and just moved to downside. There's not even a retest a little bit in here. So all these levels in here, they are levels that price eventually can retest towards to and potentially continue to move to downside. If you do break below that low, then you are looking for price to go somewhere in here. And bear in mind that you do have this structure in here as well, so that could be one of the first levels as well, where you can have some reaction in here on the Nikkei. So that's something to bear in mind, and therefore maybe again we can have a little bit of a reaction from here. Attention to this level in here, that price should have held and it didn't, so price could just bounce a little bit within this structure right now, which is basically taking into consideration that one in there. So that's what we have. Crypto as well, right? Just completely moved to downside as well, just feeling this price somewhere around this level. That level, man, I missed my level in there. So again, on crypto, if you actually were logical in terms of what you could see in here, you could definitely see the price was breaking lows and it was not managing to break new highs, right? So basically you were having something like this. And I did mention as well that even this low in here never really retested at least this level, so there was a little bit of space in there that will be filled, and there you go, price now just moved to downside and you are back somewhere into this level in here. Maybe if you extend this level in here, it's basically where price is reacting right now. And it can carry on to go a little bit more further down. We are testing this 50k mark. Yeah, well, what can you see in here, right? Again, the room to downside can go further down. This is a good reaction from this previous level. Price can retest all these in here as well and just continue. So we'll see. And then if you start breaking a little bit more into this range in here, then you are looking to go to the other side, and all of a sudden we can go easily from 50 to 40 without any bigger problem in here. So basically price can go all the way till there, basically 43 or something like that. That can be a level that Bitcoin can easily reach. But now we are reacting this 50k that level in there, so just curious to see how price may react around this level if it is enough or not to start now pushing a little bit BTC to the upside. Ethereum, yeah, so it went out the way again. We mentioned as well that price had broken that low in there, so price managed to break those lows, and that's why we're still bearish in here. Big move to downside as well, basically below that low. Everything in here was compressed until at least retesting that low, and we actually managed to take that low in here, and we are moving, basically reacting a bit from this level. I do think Ethereum wants to go slightly lower. There's maybe this level in here, and you can actually go all the way eventually to go back into this zone in here. So almost all of this is compressed in here, and price just literally broke that low. Now we do have this previous level of support resistance on the left side, so that can be an important structure in there, but we did manage to break below this structure, and we may have actually opened into this level in here. So that's just something to bear in mind. Yes, we do have that level in there. I think this one is already taken, so actually we can look a little bit more underneath that, so we can actually remove this one in here. Maybe there's a little bit of some structure in there that price can react, fake out these lows, good structure in there, and in the lower time frame maybe we can see something. But Ethereum can indeed carry on to downside, and Solana also making another big move down, finally taking these lows in here, and basically this is the range that we are in right now. So let's see how price may react from that level. It's still reacting a little bit from this structure in here, and eventually could even go somewhere in there, right? So basically it retested 110. It's crazy. It can go from 190 to 110 just in a couple of weeks. It is what it is. And then the other indices, and you are looking at the Euro index, right? So with respect to that low, perfect reaction from this demand zone, and it pushed to the upside, and now it's reacting from this level. So basically now close a little bit of this gap, and we'll see what's going to happen next. Is price now in this range from these lows all the way to those highs, or eventually are going to actually break these lows again? So that's something to bear in mind in here. So we'll see. And then the index, which is one of the most important as well in comparison with the okay. So good reaction from this level. So as we'll see on the dollar yen, on the euro yen, and so on, the yen pairs finally reacted or reached a really interesting level as well. And this is one in here on the yen index. So price fake out those highs, and it's reacting literally from this level of supply in there. That was a little bit fresh. It's also kind of a little bit in alignment with another structure in there. And if you do then manage to break above the structure, which eventually could do that, then you are looking for price to go even further up. Again, there's maybe another reaction that you could expect from here, but then eventually price can actually start challenging this high in there. But yeah, something in here, price can actually go all the way and fake out that level, actually react from that zone in here. But in the lower time frame, it's a good reaction. So if fake out that high, we can even play a little bit more around this structure. So the yen index can actually still play a little bit around this level, can fake out even this high and still move to downside. Doesn't really mean that at this point, if you do break this high, price is ready to go up again. No, it can actually start creating a little bit of manipulation around here. So we had a little bit of structure here. We did manage not to break below that level. Good reaction from this demand zone. So price actually can start challenging a little bit more. We do have this double top in there. Maybe there's something in there that price can also move a bit to the downside, and eventually can fake out this high and push lower a little bit more as well. So that's a little bit of what we have on the yen index, and I do think that we are going to be trading a little bit around this range tomorrow, and maybe for the next couple of days, somewhere in here. So I could see this high being faked out one more time, and then price just coming back into this range again, instead of just gaining momentum, actually to come back into this range. So that's what I will be looking for on the yen index. If you are looking for bullish, which means that sells on the other yen pairs, maybe this could be a level to look for something. Yeah, so let's take a look at let's take a look at the individual currency pairs in here. So what we have, right? So all right, Euro dollar. Right, so euro dollar. Hey. I'm just checking some filters in here. So euro dollar, it went all the way and it fake out those highs on the left. Right, so we're looking for the euro dollar to break out this. So that's a little bit of what our idea was. We turned actually bullish when we saw that one breaking in here. Basically, we got into this compression, even though price reacted nicely from that supply level in there. But that opened the door to go further up. And then we're looking for price to target those double tops in there. And now we are there, right? So again, this reaction is really good. We also have these left shoulders in there. So the reaction is actually quite good where euro dollar end up reacting from this morning in here. So it reacted from here. It could have gone a little bit higher, but it's a good level in here. So with that being said, the high is good. It can still go further up, of course. It can still go and challenge a bit more closer to this level. No problems at all with that. But you can start playing around in here and to see if this actually can be the top for now, and if we're going to have some kind of reaction from this level and pushing lower, right? So we do have this level in here that was actually a really good setup this morning. The prices fake out that level. It's a typical trend continuation setup. This is what you can expect after such a big momentum that happened because of the NFP. The day after, this is what you're going to be looking for, right? You're going to be looking for price to create a little bit of structure in there. Look for the demand zone. Also look for the previous supply level that was not respected. So those two usually are in alignment or somehow in alignment. And you have that push to the upside, and then eventually you're going to have that fake out, and that's where you want to be looking for your trade. Is somewhere in here. And there you go. Like expecting the continuation. Again, this high, as you mentioned, this was already a break to the upside, and eventually we have price making all that move up. And now we actually left this zone in here, right? Basically that demand zone in there. It's a little bit fresh. So we'll see what's going to happen. Do you have this low as well? So price can even come back a little bit into this level and challenge again the highs, which means that now at this point, this is the level that we are looking at in here on the euro dollar. So again, we did manage to fake out that high, really good level, a really good move, and we'll see. We'll see if we're going to continue to go to the upside again, similar to the dollar index, where the low is reacting from a valid demand zone. I do think there's still more room to the upside on the euro dollar, the same way that I do think there's still more room to the downside on the dollar index. But these levels were actually quite good. In the higher time frame, in the lower time frame, is creating some structure. So we do have that supply the same way that we have the demand zone on dollar index. So we'll see if we're not going to be able to trade a little bit around this structure this week, before maybe price moves along and eventually creates new highs in here. The pound dollar, well, pound dollar is a completely different story at this point. It's just in this range. It's not really moving that much. So it reacted perfectly from the demand zone that was still there. And that was actually a level that I was looking for. Now we did manage to break slight with this high. So I do believe that we still have a little bit of space towards that level. So that high hasn't really reacted there. That's why maybe there's still a chance that price could go slightly higher. But at this point, I don't really like all these lows in here, so I would prefer actually to see pound dollar actually faking out this structure in here, if there's some from here, and then start moving higher, or eventually then start just breaking everything in here. And there's maybe still this demand zone in there underneath this above that price could have some reaction if that's the idea. So that's something in there to bear in mind on the pound dollar, but it's a bit. Yeah, the PA is not that great, honestly, comparing with euro dollar, for example. On the other side, since we have this range in here on the pound dollar, what we have actually is a massive move. We had a massive move to the upside on the euro comparing with the pound. Like, and the euro pound is a reflection of that. So we basically filled out this place. We even managed to break the high as well. Right, so that was the idea overall. I'm looking at euro cut, sorry, 1 second. Euro pound. So we managed to go all the way. So basically we took that high immediately, and then we were starting to even to target straight away in here. Like everything was compressed. So there you go. We target straight away this structure in here. Reacted from the extreme in there, but you can even eventually go there. You can even fake out this double top in there, even though there's maybe still something in there that price can react from. But you can even go there into that level in here. But for now, it was such a big move to the upside. I don't like this level, to be honest, now that I'm looking at it. I don't like that level in there, so that's something to bear in mind. Price can definitely just go slightly more to the upside and pick out this double top now. Yep, and then react from there. So that looks interesting on the pound dollar. Oh, sorry, euro pound. This is basically a little bit of the beginning of this phase. This is where we actually managed to break above and decide to move to the upside. So we do have this range in here at this point. So that's nice. This one, as always, there's a small fake out in here before it actually continues. Fake out happening there. So that's a level that you want to be aware of. And there you go. Start moving to the upside. So where it go, you have a few structures here that price can still use. And let's see what kind of PI you are going to have around this structure. And yes, on the more time frame, that level in here looks nice. It looks like that this high didn't really reacted from it, which makes it interesting. It reacted from this level. Yeah. There you go. Right. So when you start actually looking then into order time frame, you actually end up realizing where price reacted. Do I have? I don't have data on 1 minute. This is this here, right? Sometimes I don't understand the data in here. Why I don't have the data. All right. So again, there's still this level in here. Price just reacted from the one underneath this level in here. It's okay, but you do have still that level in there, and even this level in here as well. That price can end up reacting from on this euro pound. So that can be potentially a good sell opportunity. And euro pound has been quite bullish. We predicted exactly that reversal from the bottom. So that's exactly something that we predicted 2 weeks ago. It played out perfectly. And there you go. Now we are back at this extreme. So again, as you mentioned, just as I mentioned before, is euro pound now bullish? Yeah, maybe it is bullish, right? But if you actually realize of all the compression that's going on in here, you can start actually understanding that after the break of this, maybe even after the break of that one, there is nothing else actually in here to hold price. Like in this case, it was this crazy news of today that managed to make this move to the upside. Some other day is going to be any other kind of news. But in reality, is that the way price moved to the downside in here, it compressed completely. Basically, took all the orders on the way down in here. So there's no surprise that eventually price can just move past through everything and get to the other side of the extreme, which is somewhere in there. And those sometimes there are the opportunities that you can actually look for bigger targets. It's in here. Right, so again, euro pound, I'm going to be curious to see if there's a little bit of a sell opportunity in there. Aussie dollar, that's another one that you mentioned that, yep, it didn't look like that this would be the low. So we wanted to see new lows being created on the new lows. I mean, at least price to get closer to that low in there. And we did even better than that. We actually fake out low, right? So, and we got into this structure in there. Personally, I do even have this demand zone a little bit underneath, so price may have not really reacted from the zone that I'd like to, which means that this level can eventually still be faked out one more time in here. So we'll see. Price is back at this level. I do think there's still a chance to at least retest a little bit more this level. It's not that often that we have the reversal just with a big spike and then price never comes back into this level. So we'll see. Did manage to break this high though, so open the door in there. So we'll see what's going to happen around this structure, and price, yes, price can still even continue. Don't forget, overnight you have interest rate decision in here, and there may be a surprise. We'll see. Maybe the Reserve Bank of Australia can start adjusting or making some policy changes based on the world that we have at this moment and the liquidity issues that we have in the market. So we'll see if that's going to happen or not. There you go. That's Aussie. Again, the other Aussie pairs as well, massive move. So you end up picking out this level. We did mention yesterday as well that where this high was reacting from on the left side and comparing with the retracement, how this retracement was literally just to react from the demand zone that managed to make this move upwards. So he did mention, be careful, maybe price actually just wants to go all the way through. It reacted sometimes in here from good levels, but never really managed to break lows. And all of a sudden, we just continue. Because in the bigger picture, if you actually look at it, basically price is just moving to the upside, and this move just react from here. From there, the tendency, because we respected this level, tendency to still be to create new highs, and while price continues to move slightly higher. So price reacted from here. I think it can even go slightly higher, of course. So we'll see what's going to happen in here on this Euro Aussie at this point. So good reaction. Price moving a bit to the downside. We'll see. Yeah, we need to see a little bit of adjustment somewhere. Again, preferably let price get closer to some of the extremes to look for opportunities. Oh yeah, that's another one with the interest rate. So most likely tomorrow morning when we wake up, price is already somewhere else. Pound Aussie, the similar scenario. So it went all the way, it faked out this high, and now it's reacting a little bit more from something else in there, and it can even continue to go higher. So I could still carry on seeing this Pound Aussie going a bit more to the upside. In here again, another one that respected this level, then kind of end up respecting these left shoulders in here, and it just moved to the upside. Like that was a great reaction from this low in there. So that we mentioned out that as well, that maybe this low was not exactly an engulf down, because price was just reacting from this great level, and in the higher time frame is actually a demand zone. There you go. Price now is reversing and coming back into this structure. So now all of a sudden we have a big range to play with, and yeah, depending on the type of strategy that you're looking for, at this point I'm just going to step aside a little bit and wait and see what market wants to do around this level in here. Even New Zealand spiked below the level, so we managed to break slightly above this level in here. But if you recall, I was actually waiting all this time for New Zealand to actually break below that low, and it happened with this spike in here. Right, so it can even go slightly lower, but for now it already faked out that low that we were looking for. So initially these lows reacted and respected the previous low. Now we actually have the fake out. So we'll see, maybe from here the price does want to continue to move lower. Maybe there's something in there. So we'll see what's going to happen, and if this becomes a bit more of a new structure in here to push a bit more to the downside. So we'll see what's going to happen in here on New Zealand. Yeah, we'll see. And then jumping into the yen pairs, right? So that's one to pay attention to. There you go. So we mentioned, like we literally mentioned that Aussie yen, and it was a bit scary on that aspect. Everything in here was compressed. Like again, of course, I'm not expecting price to just feel this move in a couple of days, but as you can see, every single thing in here was compressed. And if you want to study compression, this is one of the best examples that you can look for. So again, when you do have the turn, would you be surprised that maybe price wants to feel all this? I wouldn't. If this is a lower time frame chart, that's exactly where I'll be actually targeting. It will be the retest of this structure here, most likely starting to look from this level, because this is the first level of the demand zone that price never really reacted from. Since then you have all this structure. So first target somewhere in here, and the second target, it will be always to target this level, and the third target can even go below this low, so because this low is already broken at that level. And this is typical of a zone 3 type of a move before the zone 4, right? And then you turn that level, that's actually the target. It's the beginning of this level in here. That's a video that I'm going to do next. So yeah, just bear in mind that's next series that I'm going to do. So good reaction, again, good reaction back into this structure at this level in here on Aussie yen, and there you go. So we'll see what's going to happen next, but at least it feels straight away that that compression. So we'll see what's going to happen around this level in here on Aussie yen. You do have this level price also already reacted from. So yeah, you can fake out a little bit in here. Now it's a bit more back into the middle of the range. So I'm going to wait a little bit more to see what's going to happen next as well. This is basically the new level in there that you're looking for. So that's what we have. Dollar yen, that's another one. So we mentioned, where is it reacting now? Just basically fill the space. Like there you go. Starts from here, comes back to it. Typical move. No surprise. in here, right? So let everyone else be surprised or be scared. Just do your analysis in the higher time frame, and you're going to actually notice that most of the levels where price actually is reacting from, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's not exactly anything that oh, why is price moving like this? No. Now we are in here, so we'll see, right? We are reacting from this left shoulder, from that level. I think there's still a little bit of a demand, a little bit underneath that price can still react from. So we'll see, and that's this one in here. So price is reacting from that level. I do believe that maybe there's level in here can still work, and that's something to bear in mind in here. So price could play a little bit around this structure. If price does want to actually go slightly higher from here, that would be the scenario. We do have now all these walls in here. We did manage to break a little bit above this structure, so we had a double top in there. Now we broke it. It's true that price is just reacting from this level, and quite similar to the index. But we could definitely try to push a bit more. I could even like one more high in here, and then price just moving a bit more downside, play around with this, and then fake out and try to go higher from here. So that could be something to play with in here on the dollar yen, if it actually wants to turn from here, or to find a little bit more of buyers around this level. So that will be a setup that I wouldn't mind at all to happen, and something that I'll be interested to trade in here. So yeah, let it fake out that level in here. Basically price already react from here. There's maybe something in there, but why not take those lows, maybe get a little bit more into that level in there, and from there you can look for an opportunity in here. If you are still bearish, and if you do want to continue to look for a bearish move, yep, so look a little bit for that range as well. Basically price is reacting in here. If price does break above this level, then I think can go slightly higher, and eventually this can be also the range that you are looking for, which then eventually takes us actually into this supply, which is the one that is still fresh. So that's just something to bear in mind in here. Maybe below that there's still something in there that price can hold. So we'll see what's going to happen around this level, but I would love to see that fake out into a little bit of this level. Price doesn't really need to break the lows, even though we do have perhaps this level in here as well, which looks quite nice as well. If price does want to fake out that level in here and react from that level and go, right? So we do have a little bit of a zone in there, but if price does want to fake out this level, we do have straight away a next one in there as well. And bear in mind that maybe we do have this structure in here as well. So yeah, somewhere around here, I think we are going to have a little bit of a reaction on the dollar yen. Euro yen, same thing, right? So where is it reacting now? Euro yen, surprise, surprise, where it started. Like, what a surprise, like a beautiful Quasimodo in here. So price reacted from this level, beautiful, and within this demand zone in here. Like, what a surprise where price is reacting. Like, perfect. Basically it filled this price again, compressed. Like, so basically everything was being compressed in here as price was moving to the upside. And there you go. There's maybe this level in there that was not, but price reacted from it and then decided to move to the downside. Right? And now we are within this range. So similar to the dollar yen, maybe price could also find a little bit of a support zone in here and try to go a little bit more to the upside. If price all of a sudden starts breaking below these lows, then we are looking into this next level, which actually can be the end of this, because actually price can actually go all the way from this level, and this low actually can be the low. Talk about this one, right? So this actually can be the final target eventually for this euro yen move, and from here price can find some buyers also in alignment with that level. So that actually looks nice personally, and definitely a level to pay attention to. I think there's going to be some long opportunities from here. But for now, this is a really good level as well, and price is reacting from it, and it can react a little bit more, right? Price needs to slow down a little bit. Price needs to show a little bit of a bit strength in this case before eventually turns into there. So that's just something to bear in mind in here on the euro yen. It does look nice. good reaction, and I do think that we can have a little bit of PI around this level in here to see some more reaction. And again, bigger picture, as I mentioned, just look a little bit more further down and you'll have that level. On the end, that's another one. Again, what a surprise, right? What a strange level our price filled this morning. Like again, another one, big range in there, move to downside. Where from? Where to? Boom, the origin of the move. Guys, if you still, you need to study this levels, you need to understand a little bit where is your price end up reacting from and what's the natural level for price to move towards to. What do we have in here as well? Compression, 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 a little bit of that level. This one in here was a little bit fresh, and then you have that one in there. Right, so beautiful. Good reaction so far. In here as well. And that's basically what we have on the pound yen. Again, if it wants to go slightly lower, yes, you can even fake out at 12, the same low that we just saw on the euro yen, and eventually can go further down. But for now, beautiful. Check done where price reacted. We'll see what's going to start happening around this level. If you start having signs of reversal, again, you start breaking a little bit in here. Similar to all the other yen pairs, we do have this supply level in there. We had the demand zone on the yen index. So that's something to bear in mind in here. And now takes us into the dollar CAD, right? Which is one that we have been looking for. So yes, there was always a chance of price faking out that level and reacted perfectly from somewhere in there, right? That was another level that we mentioned. Again, this looks like already a double top in there, and price ended up creating that move. So compress, compress, compress. So it has been bullish for many weeks now and start creating all this range. And there you go. Unfortunately, it was quite quick. It still left a level in there. So hopefully, and that's my wishful thought talking in here, that price could eventually retest this level in there to look for another short in here. And it left also this level in here behind, so that's another level that we could eventually look for on our CAD, and now it's reacting from this level. So this is one of the last demand zones that is still fresh as well. Dollar CAD in here is compressed quite a lot, so it reacted from one of the last zones in there and moved upwards, and now it's reacting from one of the last ones, and we'll see. You will see if we're not going to have this happening on the dollar CAD. Hopefully it has another attempt to get a bit closer to this level in there, just to try to look for shorts closer to the extreme in here. Yeah, that looks like the range that we are trading at this point on dollar CAD. Another one that he talked about was the euro CAD, and what a beautiful move as well. So we talked about it as well, that eventually we would fake out this level. I already mentioned this level in here for the first time like 2 weeks ago when you're looking at euro CAD. Basically we had all this structure in there, and there was the chance that if euro CAD was not really managing to break below it, then we would eventually take these highs and you'll go all the way through straight away to get into this structure. That's exactly where we are right now in here. So we are creating a little bit of a zone 3 type of a move at this point. That's what we usually call it. So we'll see what's going to happen in here. Zone 3 type of a move is a little bit of a discompression. It doesn't really mean that the top is already created. Maybe you can still fake out those highs. Price is still just reacting from this zone underneath as well. Maybe price still wants to go a little bit closer into that level before moving down. If you by any chance you start breaking above this level, then you start looking for price to go even higher. But for now, yeah, first setup, as I mentioned, was also to retest this level. So from there towards this level, and you can continue, or eventually can challenge to go towards those levels, and that's basically the target. Next target we can be looking for in here. But yeah, nice little move. We do have this level at the extreme in here that we can look for. So that's a level that EuroCAD can still react from and push lower. It will be even better if you do manage to properly break below this low to open the door for price to go further down. We do have this level in here that price could react from. But yeah, just go down a little bit, break properly these lows, and eventually come back into it. I don't want to see any touch. Come back into it and yeah, start moving like that, whatever, break one low in there, and eventually get close to that level. And from here, you feel free to turn and move forward, right? So that will be an interesting one to follow on the EuroCAD. You do have that level still in there. That can be interesting. Pound CAD just continue to move to downside, so that one keeps respecting the all-time high in there. All-time high, no, the previous important high in here. And it continues to create this range, and it can carry on moving to downside in here. As I mentioned several times, I don't think there's really the need for the pound CAD to break the highs. Again, the pound dollar has been a bit more bearish, or didn't really manage to go so much to the upside, and we can see that being reflected as well on the pound pair. So for example, Euro CAD broke those highs and went much higher. Pound CAD stayed here. Pound Euro Aussie went all the way and broke some highs. Pound Aussie basically just stayed around the same structure. So that's basically what we have in here with the pound CAD. Dollar franc Swiss really good as well. So we had all that space, and where price went to, I mentioned that everything in here was compressed back at the low. Right, so we are back at this low in here. So just to recall as well what I mentioned before, on the 15th of January 2015, this is the day. This is the day. This is the candle. All this candle, it was in a matter of seconds. It was created. Right, that's scary. Yeah, going back into here. So yeah, we are reacting from this low, really good level. We do have maybe a little bit of a zone underneath that price can still move towards to. So it's always good for price to react from the first level, so then you can actually create a little bit of liquidity in here into the next level if price actually wants to turn from here. Now we start breaking some highs in there, so we start showing indication want to go down, then you fake out these lows, and now we have this structure in here to look for. And now basically we can start looking for a zone 2 type of a move, which is some kind of move in here that you can look for. You can maybe fake out this low. That's maybe the level that you want to look for, and below that low basically price can hold a little bit, and tomorrow basically could do something like that and start moving to the upside. Then apparently this could be one of the targets as well to look for, maybe this level or then that level in there. If price does want to go slightly lower, then you can fake out a little bit more, get into the next level, and maybe go up from here as well. But yes, now it's the moment that we can start finally looking for some buys on our franc Swiss. So during all this period that price was moving downside, we always mention that to stay away, don't really look for longs on our franc Swiss. Wait a second, let price actually to fill completely all this range in here. So we're looking for shorts initially, where price actually missed a few of the levels that you were actually looking for, unfortunately, and now is getting into the buyer's territory. If we do break below this low, then we adjust. Gold, so gold respected the highs and filled out this range. Alright, so there you go, we are back at this level, and we are back into the middle. So again, gold, I could still see the scenario where you can create new all-time highs eventually. I do like now this double top. Eventually you can actually use that double top as liquidity to go. We also have this level in here that eventually price can fake out. Now all these lows react and push the upside, and that in there as well. But maybe somewhere in here price can actually fake out all these lows in here, just push higher again. Yeah, sorry, so that we do have a few levels in here on gold that price could eventually bounce from. Even at the extreme in here, price still left this level behind. Price just reacted from the zone underneath that. So we do have that level in there as well on gold. That's something that we have. Again, if you look at silver, what a move, right? Unfortunately, initially I wanted that fake out to happen, and when it happened, I was not aware of it. So I ended up missing out this move. We also mentioned that part where, yeah, this is a good reaction. This is a good level for price to react from. But in my opinion, this is not the bottom in here. And a typical move, it would be just to react from that kind of mid-range level towards the previous level where price is coming from, basically supply, and then just continue. And that's basically where we are now. And this one is already a break of that level. So you're actually looking eventually for price to go somewhere in there. So we can react from here. This may be still a fresh level in there, but can just eventually continue to go and to eventually target this one here, and it can react from here. So that's a little bit on silver. Again, I was not really used to even pay attention too much to silver, but since last week, I think, when Miguel actually mentioned it, so there was this one opportunity when you noticed we had that pattern, and then you looked for that sell in there, which unfortunately I was not aware in that moment. And price did. I was looking in here, I wanted to sell it, just waiting for the fake out actually into this level to look for the sell. It never happened, created a double top. and then it ended up happening in INDICES. Happened several times. We had already managed to break that structure as well, so the room to downside was open in there. And then oil, right? So oil is also breaking in here, so we managed to continue to move a bit more to downside and reacting a little bit still from this level. It can eventually go, so we'll see how price may actually react from here. To have this structure in here as well. So yeah, I want to see a little bit more of PI around here on oil before trying to look for any longs. I think price may want to continue to go a little bit more to the downside, so that's just something to bear in mind. If you look at Brent at this point, it broke this low even a bit again. It's a bit more clear, the break of that low, and eventually you can even go towards this level in here. So a lot of this also is compressed a little bit, price reacting from that level. Yeah, so we'll see, but yeah, my prefer at this point on Brent to be for price to go below that low into this level. And does it make sense for price even to react from there? Yep, it still makes sense. That level is valid in there. So yeah, that's a good level in here to pay attention to eventually. And we'll see also if you don't have a similar level like that on crude oil, right? Basically that one actually maybe already reacted from. Maybe have that zone underneath in here. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen in here a little bit. Again, expecting some retracement at least towards that level eventually, and maybe price can just continue to move a bit more to the downside. So that's it basically in terms of what you're looking for. Again, today it was more a bit of an analysis. We need to basically readjust and to do the higher time frame analysis. I always start with the higher time frame when you have days like this. Just to resume, like to summarize what we just saw, we have the dollar index reacted from a value demand zone. In the bigger picture, I think there's more room to downside. I think price is just reacting from a zone in the middle. So I do think there's a bit more room to downside in here on the dollar index. So that's point one, which again is basically the same thing on euro dollar. It's a good level, it's a good low. Price can react from it. It can even respect it for 1 or 2 days until eventually price resumes to move to the downside, and now I'm targeting this low in there. Pound's a bit more confusing at this point. Anything related to the pound in here, it may fake out those lows first before actually moving to the upside, if that's the idea. Indices, it filled some of the ranges that you're looking for, so good job on that. So beautiful reaction from there. Eventually S&P, I still continue to think that price wants to go lower. It's just the same thing with the Nasdaq. Even though price is reacting out from the extreme, we did already manage to break below these lows, which means that I think price can eventually actually break these lows and then turn. But now we are in the middle in here. But from this move down, it reacted from the extreme. Good job on that one. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. Yeah, there can be a little bit more room to downside, but good reaction as well on BTC. Ethereum reacted a little bit also from not a bad level. Actually, we actually broke the low, so Ethereum a bit more bearish. So on as well, maybe a bit more rooming to the downside. The N pairs, they are reacting from good level, so that's a level that we could start seeing a little bit of a reaction here on the N pairs. It's not a bad level, fake out that high, reacting from here, and we have also the individual yen pairs, dollar yen, pound yen, euro yen, and so on, also reacting from interesting levels, which means that we can now hold for a little bit this structure, and which can be also the bottom on the dollar yen and so on. And again, the yen pairs have been on the radar, right, with that specific trade done with the yen pairs and the interest rate. So maybe the market can slow down a little bit with that. Dollar franc Swiss, another one that we are going to looking for a potential long in here. CAD, if price retraces back to the highs, perfect to try to look for shorts. Otherwise, I'll just try to find a new range to eventually look for a short on the CAD pairs. And that's it. So yeah, interesting week, interesting month. Good luck, and there's no need to feel FOMO. You can just follow your strategy. There's always more opportunities to look for. Always. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. And stay alive in this market. First rule of trading: preserve your capital. Alright, so preserve your capital, always risk management, no need to lose too much on a single trade or start getting on tilt and start losing a lot of trades in a row. No need for that. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye.